well within the woods right now. Looks good. Picture looks good. I'm gonna eat this banana while things get going in here. It's pretty spontaneous, you know. I just moved the rig. We'll talk about that. But it's a good day, and I wanted to talk about why it's a good day, because I was basically forced to move campsites. And I'm hungry and I'm thirsty. But I wanted to explain to you guys, when you're living this lifestyle, sometimes the things that seem hard, like I get kind of not really frustrated, but I mean, as frustrated as I get being a nomad, I'm like, oh crap, I gotta pack up all my gear just to get out of here because of a reason that I can't control. I have to move sites. But then once I've done it, you know, now I'm in this new campsite, I realize that wasn't really that big of a deal. Everything, you know, there is something that broke. We'll talk about that. And that's, you know, what caused me. That's the main reason why I had to move campsites today. So we'll talk about that. So I get frustrated, but then I realize, like, you know, I'm not like running around yelling. I'm not like pissed off or really upset. It's just like that's as upset as life gets living this lifestyle. You know, the worst case scenario is like when your rig breaks down, and that's not what happened. And health issues, I guess, would be the next big thing, and that's the biggest thing is health issues for me and the dogs. But you can see Echo right down here. They want this banana. The dogs always get some of my banana when I pull out the banana, so they're surrounding me right now. So if they bump the camera, that's what's going on. I can see some people coming into the chat right now. You guys put some comments in the chat so I know you're there. Because I am deep in the woods right now. I have a fairly clear view of the sky back here, but I'm wondering how good the reception is. This is really spontaneous. Hey, Scotty P, Savvy Travelers. Okay, now with the banana, what I do is I always give the middle portion to Mr. Echo. So yes, Echo, easy, easy. There you go. And then I take a bite. So I get like 3 bites of the banana. I get 2 bites, then I give the middle to Echo. Then I get 1 more bite. Dodger always gets the last bite. I don't think he's going to be able to get in camera. Dodge. Echo, get. Dodger, come here. Come. Come. Yes. Dodger, yes. Come. Come. He's not going to get in the camera. Now, if I move the camera, I'm worried that I'm going to lose reception, so I'm going to not move the camera for a little while. You guys tell me if there's anything that cuts out. It looks a little jittery right now on my end, so let me know how that is. I do need to get the Starlink, because when you're out in a place like this, man, if I had the Starlink, I could connect and we'd get like a really awesome connection every time. But I just moved sites. We're going to talk about that, why I had to do that. And so I'm not sure exactly what my cell connection is like here. Where I just was, it was actually pretty good, and I wanted to do a live stream for you guys from there. But I was forced to move, essentially, move sites. Old Man in the Forest says the video is good here. Thanks, Old Man, I appreciate that. Are you in the forest too? You must be. Let's read some of your comments. Scotty P, it's good to see you, man. It's really good to see you in here. Old Man in the Forest is watching me from Cinder Hills. Oh, I was just camped like right near there. Well, a couple months ago now. Cinder Hills is Flagstaff. I mean, you must be up in Flagstaff. I found some really good campsites over there. And man, Flagstaff is awesome. I love Flagstaff. I've never been there. Oh, no, I have been there when it's snowy, but I've never intentionally been there when it was in snow. Right now, it's probably fairly hot. It's probably 90 degrees, something like that, in Flagstaff. But right now we are in the Cascade Mountains, and this is one of my favorite places to be. But dealing with the trees as a nomad, old man, and the forest, you probably understand. When there's trees around and you're trying to survive off of solar power, you're gonna have some issues. And that's why we carry a generator. Most nomads have a generator. And so I have a generator that you guys have seen in my videos. I did a review video about it. But I went to pull the cord, and I'm dependent on this generator because I'm not getting much sun through the trees on my solar panels. And I have 4 solar panels up there now, so it's 400 watts of solar panels. And even up here in the mountains, as long as I get a fair amount of sun during the day, I can survive off of that power just fine. I don't necessarily have to be in the desert. I can be in the woods as long as there's good sun. And now you can see the sun is hitting my rig, but it's filtered through the trees. And where I was camped before, it was even worse. So it's hardly getting any power. So I went to pull the cord on my generator, and it didn't retract back into the generator. It pulled it once and it just stayed out there. It's supposed to go back into the generator. And the generator wasn't even running at that point. Now I had been running it the nights before. I run it for a few hours, and that keeps everything charged up in the rig. Keeps the batteries on the right there charged up. So I took apart the generator to find a little windy thing that takes the cord in, and I've had to repair that cord, replace that cord itself. The cord snapped, the original cord, and I put in some 550 paracord. And in my review, I mentioned that, and that's one of the best upgrades I did, was putting that 550 paracord in there because it doesn't have any abrasions on it at all. The mechanism that winds the cord back in basically is broken, and so when you pull it, it won't go back in, but if you could, it wouldn't spin the motor to start it. Anyway, so I gotta order that part, and it's gonna be a few days until I get it. And I need power, so I don't really have any other way to do it than to move sites. So that's why I was forced to move, basically. And in the process of doing that, I realized, I'm irritated because I have to pack up all my gear. I got to pack up the dogs and move sites, and I'm so spoiled. Like, I moved not even a half a mile to a different site, and we're getting much better sun here. You can see it's really not that great, but it's a lot better than what I was getting. So now I'll have enough power to get by for a few days. But being frustrated, it's normal. Everybody gets frustrated or irritated. And it's not like I'm throwing stuff around or anything, but I realize that's about as frustrated or as irritated as I get when something breaks or something happens. You have to fix something or move something, repair something. I had to take the bike apart to get it back into the truck to get back up here at the campsite. But it's all good practice to kind of get a good system down, and it really didn't take me that long. But when you're forced to move, it's that's about as bad as it gets. It's a good, what I said to myself after I got into this campsite, I was like, it's a good day today. Everything's here, the dogs are healthy, I'm healthy. All my gear is running great, except the generator now has like a $20 problem that I have to wait a few days, and I can put the part in myself and we'll be back in business 100%. These little pieces of gear, the truck and the trailer are the biggest, most important pieces of gear that I have. And of course our health. But other than that, like the gear that needs to get fixed or repaired or replaced, it's 20, 30, 40, 50 bucks here and there. The generator is a $400 generator, so even if that whole generator goes tits up, it's 400 bucks and I get a new generator. It's not that big of a deal. I have my battery pack charging over there, my EBL, that orange battery. Some people have Jackeries. I got the it looks like a Jackery, but it's called EBL. They sent it to me, and I have that in the sun right now charging up. So I've got portable power charging. I mean, that system is like a $200 system, and it's like, it's a pretty, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, you know, you do need some money, and you need to be able to fix things and plan things out to some degree and be prepared. Basically, be prepared. That's one of my favorite mottos. I mean, that's the Boy Scout motto. Be prepared. And if you're prepared, you know, I got some knives, I got some lighters, I got some tools, I got multiple sets of tools, wrenches, you know, socket sets. Then you got gear for the dogs, you got things to work on the tires, you know, tire patch kits, things like that. Chargers, cables. As long as you're prepared, being a nomad is, I mean, I want to say, what's the word? It's easy. Like, it's relaxing. You know, there's things it's like, oh crap, like I need power, so I have to do something about it right away. You know, something has to be done. If you run out of water, something has to be done about that right away. So there are things that are different than in, like, if you're living in an apartment or a house, you can kind of let things go, but still things do come up, right? Like your power could go out, yeah, your plumbing could go bad, and you got to fix it right away. So I guess it's really similar. The difference is here, it's all up to me to fix it. You know, I'm not calling somebody out to, you know, repair my generator or calling somebody out to work on my solar system. I have to do it. And the good thing is that generally, you know, I like doing that stuff, and I feel capable enough to do, you know, some of the stuff, a fair amount of the stuff, and I know when to have someone professional take care of those things too. Hey, elsewhere. Patrick says it's good video quality. Yeah, drill start. I thought about, oh, I could hook my drill up to the generator to start it. I couldn't get my drill in there, is the thing. It's too awkward. But I mean, yeah, you could potentially do something like that. You could. Top fans. What if I hit this button? What does that do? I don't know if you guys can see the top fans, but Scotty P is the top fan with 75 experience points. I'm not sure exactly what that means, Scotty P, but I think that means you're the top fan of my live streams, which is cool. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. Elsewhere says video is good, 1080p here in Los Angeles. That is awesome, Elsewhere. I'm really glad to hear that, because I'm like halfway up a mountain right now in the trees. You know, I'd move the camera around so you could see a little better view, but I don't want to lose reception. But we are surrounded by trees and surrounded by mountains. And the freeway is, I mean, I can't hear it at all. It's way past the mountains. I think it's probably 7 miles to the freeway. So, I mean, I feel like we are out in the middle of nowhere. And so it feels great to know that I can send a 1080p signal to you guys from the middle of nowhere. Jam, yes, I do like grunge music. Why do you ask? I've been listening to Metallica lately, which I know is not grunge, but growing up, I didn't listen to Metallica basically because I was like, they're too mainstream, you know, they're sellouts. I was more into like the kind of underground grunge and underground like pop, underground little bit of punk stuff, especially living in Seattle, right? All that Seattle local stuff is really what I was into. But now that I'm, you know, I'm traveling and the grunge scene is basically dead, I'm listening to some of that old stuff like Pearl Jam and Metallica. And Metallica, I really like Metallica. I know a lot of you guys probably already know all about Metallica, but I'm going through their stuff. I'm like, I've never even heard of their songs. Like, I've only ever heard Enter Sandman, basically. Nodmarb says, do you ever have trouble finding a veterinarian on the road? Yeah, it's come up. It does come up. When I go to Quartzsite, there's a vet that I go see. So I take the dogs there once a year. And that works out really well. And it's cool because it's like a country vet. Super quick. The guy just gets you in and out real fast. Quick and dirty. And it's like 50 bucks or 80 bucks or something. It's like really cheap. So the dogs get their shots and stuff like that there. But yeah, things do come up. It's funny, if I think about it, I think, you know, I've had to do first aid on Mr. Echo because he gets beat up sometimes. He got a gash in his face, and so I didn't stitch it up, but I glued it together with that medical glue stuff. I've had to repair his fingernails because he's broke some nails and things like that. But I have had to take him into the vet. He had an eye infection once while we were on the road. I don't think I've ever had to take Dodger in for anything. You know, he's getting old, but he's still kicking. He's doing pretty good. So I think what a lot of nomads do is they plan out, well, there's this vet in this place or that place. And so I do have some vets, you know, that I've been to before, so I can probably go there pretty easily. But honestly, it's basically like, oh, something comes up, then I have to get on my phone and just find out who can take me in at that moment, which is probably not the best plan. As far as like being prepared, I was just talking about being prepared. But you know, there's always like emergency vets. The thing is, the dogs have health insurance. So if something comes up, like, you know, they break a bone or they get bit by a rattlesnake, I can take them basically anywhere, and the health insurance, they have pet health insurance. There's a pretty high deductible on it, but some of those things that you get done, you know, broken bones, snake bite, stuff like that, those things are expensive, and so the insurance covers that. So I can take them anywhere, you know, emergency hospital, whatever. It's fun reading your guys' comments. Keep sending them in. I'm going to try to run through some here real quick. And just in case you guys don't know, like, I am a full-time nomad. I live on the road full-time. You can watch all of our videos. I'm just doing a live stream right now because I guess I was a little bored. But really what it was is I literally just pulled into this site, got my rig set up. I got it all leveled up on the boards. Can you see the boards right there? Got the dogs all situated, and I was irritated about having to move campsites, but I realized it's not a big deal. It's a super fun life, and I just wanted to kind of spread that message of when it's a good day, it's a good day, and it's not a bad day if you have to move campsites. That's just normal. That's just part of the game. And knowing that I have to move campsites, that's a good thing. Like, that means I know what I'm doing. My generator broke and I need power, so I have to move where I get a little bit more sun. Travel Commission says, I paused van life and I may be forced to get an RV. Yeah, van life, I mean, it's pretty awesome. We could get up these roads so much further if we just had a van. With a trailer, I'm limited to what I can do. So good luck when you get in an RV. I would say, you know, you see people driving those, I don't know what you call it, like a motorhome kind of thing, like Class A's and stuff like that. I like the trailer life. Obviously, like, I'm pretty hooked on the trailer life because I can detach, and now I've got a truck. And with a truck, I can go anywhere, I can do anything. And I'm fast and super mobile that way. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's like having a van, but, you know, I can't park my trailer everywhere you can park your van, but my truck can get anywhere your van can get and even further. And the trailer is more comfortable to live in, you know, short term or long term, than a van is. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. I call it my cabin in the woods, and I can put this thing wherever I want. And now I have a cabin set up, and then I can drive around and go wherever I want with the truck. And now I got a bike in the bed of the truck, an e-bike. I've been using that e-bike. I just made a video today. I just shot a video today that'll be coming out probably in a couple weeks. Betty says hello. Hi, Betty in Illinois. Is it hard finding places to park your camper? No, it's not. I'm up here in the woods right now, and with the bike, what I did is I rode the bike around to scout out places I could camp. And I went miles down one road, like 3 miles, and I was like, oh, there's places all along here. And I checked for cell signal, and there's no cell signal. So it kind of puts those places on the do not camp here list for me, because I don't have Starlink. If I had Starlink, it's probably a different story. And all those sites were empty except for one. There was only one other person camped down like 3 miles of forest road. This road, I took the bike up and I found 2 spots I can camp, and that's where I am right now. It's not hard finding spots. You get good at it, and then you find places and you start to know places that are your favorite places, and those can always be backups, or you can choose to stay there again. You know, and you may have one state where you like to camp, or 2 or 3, or maybe all across the country. So you can use apps. What I use is iOverlander, the iOverlander app. And I've used that, I started using that my first year. Some lady told me about it when I was camped in New Mexico, because I was looking for a place to get water. And I was using a couple other apps, but they didn't tell me how to find free water, or water that I could fill up my trailer with. But the iOverlander app shows you where there's propane, water, dump stations, and free camping and paid camping sites. Scotty P says, I deserve a trophy and an IPA. Scotty bought me a 6-pack of beer when I was in Quartzsite, and that was a lot of fun for me, having beers. I had like a beer at night with my dinner. My stomach is growling. I need to eat lunch. All I had was a banana so far. Old man says, my dog Forrest is 13 and he runs around like he's 6. Oh, you're a lucky old man in the forest. Can you see Dodger? Oh yeah, there he is. There's Dodger right there. See, he's just wandering around. He wanders around camp. He'll do that like all day, and he's very comfortable under the trailer. He does like to be inside on his bed, but Dodger he's 18 years old. So, I mean, we really don't have that much longer together. He's just wandering around right here. He has one bad leg. He injured it about 1.5 years ago. I took him to get surgery, and the surgeon said he's too old for the surgery. So he has a brace that he wears. I don't have it on him at the moment. But it's great to just see him. You know, your dog's running around, so you're lucky. Dodger doesn't run that much anymore. He will have little spurts. But I love just looking at him wandering around camp, smelling stuff, doing his thing in his old age. It makes me really happy. Dodger and I have a long history, and I'm sure you and your dog too as well. Forrest is the name of your dog. Are you ever concerned about someone breaking into your RV? Well, no. Lisa commented on one of my videos the other day, and I didn't remember her name necessarily, but I met her like in my first year of being a nomad. And she had just gotten broken into, and she came over to my campsite. She's like, I just got broken into. I think it was these people that are camped right next to you, so she like warned me. And so I've always been cautious about that. Like, oh, I guess it does happen. Other than that, I haven't heard many stories about it happening. I do have, like pepper spray and stuff like that. for like, druggies, bears, and mountain lions and things like that. And when sometimes I do, like I was just talking, like I do detach and I take the truck, and I'll take the truck, I might be gone for hours, and I leave the trailer behind. So I only tend to leave my trailer in areas where I feel safe. And you get a vibe, you get a feeling of places where you're camped. Sometimes, like right here, I'd be fine leaving it because I know hardly anybody even comes on this road. At the same time, there's nobody around. If someone wants to break in, it'd be super easy for them to break in. There's nobody around to stop them from doing it, or take a picture of the person's license plate, or call the cops or something like that. Some places you'll be camped at, and there'll be other people camped fairly close to you, and you'll get a vibe from them. You'd be like, oh, well, they have nice rigs, or they seem like nice people, or you just get a vibe, and you'll realize, oh, these people that are camped around me, none of them are gonna rob me. And if someone tries to like break into my rig, the people around me are the kind of people who are gonna notice it, and it's much less likely to happen. Some places you camp, you'll get kind of a sketched out vibe from your neighbors, and you'll say, I don't really want to leave my rig around them, if I'm not here. But I tend not to stay in places like that too long. In Quartzsite, I feel really safe when I'm in the LTVA areas. There are sketchy people there, so I'm sure it does happen. I do worry about it. It would really freaking suck. And there are camera systems you could get, which might be something I'm gonna look into. But the thing with the camera systems is I need a Wi-Fi or something like that. Todd says I can fix your generator. Well, Todd, thanks, Todd. I bet you could. What's wrong with it now, I can fix. I have to buy the $20 wheel that holds the, the cord. The dogs in it, since you know about generators, the dogs that stick out that engage the flywheel of the motor, the dogs are basically shot. One of them split off, broke off. They're plastic too. I don't understand. Nodmarb is asking personal questions. Was it a past relationship that helped your decision to go on the road? I've talked about it in a couple videos, and yeah, those are some popular videos that I do when everybody wants to know the personal stuff. The Got Out channel is, for me, it's about showing this lifestyle and what it's like, and having a YouTube channel, and my face is on it. Trust me, if I could do these subjects, talking about how to live as a nomad and the gear and what it's like, tips and tricks and stuff like that, with somebody else's face, then that's what I'd be doing. I'd be behind the camera. You'd never see me. But I live by myself in this lifestyle. I'm the only person here, so I have to be the guy in front of the camera. And so doing YouTube, like, I'm the personality, and I get it. You guys want to know personal questions and stuff like that. So I've done videos about that. What what made me decide to be a nomad? Well, it's different for everybody. I think what happens is something happens, or you decide, like, I'm gonna try to live on the road for whatever reason. And then once you do it, at least for some people, the reason you're living on the road is because you realize you love living on the road. And that's what happened to me. I mean, there was the pandemic, there was riots in Seattle. It was crazy in Seattle. People were, and man, I'm glad I don't live there. I just visited there. It was pretty cool, actually, where I went down to Pike Place Market. But there were lots of reasons, lots of things. And the dogs and I, we were comfortable in the outdoors, in these mountains, and it was a respite for us. It was a refuge. It was the most comfortable place, the safest place I could be. Yeah, no, I do like talking about this kind of stuff, but it's weird to talk about it on YouTube. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the safest place. The safest place I could be. So anyways, once you do it for a while, you realize, oh, I love this lifestyle. I dig it. Like it's made for me, or I'm made for it, or something. You know, and it's actually, it's not about the gear, it's not about the trailer, it's not about that. It's not about like being away from civilization and roads and, you know, other people or buildings. It's not about being away from that. It's about being in nature, for me anyways. And for me, being in nature feels good, and I feel good all the time, no matter what the weather is. We could be having the shittiest weather. It could be pouring down rain, thunder and lightning, snow, and we've done it all. Dust storms, windstorms, crazy, crazy windstorms. And I love it. I freaking love it. And to be with my dogs, and like I was just talking about Dodger, he's getting older. To spend so much time with him and to always be with him, it's like I'm so lucky. I'm so freaking lucky. Now, we don't have a lot of money, I can't do the things that maybe you're doing in your city life, with your cushy job and whatever. But I've done that. Like I've done city life, house, apartments, going to restaurants and all that kind of stuff. I've done that, so I know what that's like. So I can compare this life to that life, and I liked that life too. Like I had a good time living that lifestyle. But yeah, you guys know this is, man, I freaking love it. And what's cool is like I can talk to you guys. Like I can still do, YouTube videos. I can still create things and share things, and it's been really, really fun. Okay, let's see if I can speed through some of your comments here, because there's a lot of comments coming in. I appreciate that, you guys. How tall is my camper, and do I think I should lift it? It's it looks like it's pretty high off the ground here, but in the back end, it's very, very low. It's probably like that from the sewer pipe, which is the lowest point on the trailer. So I do have issues with that. I got to be very careful where I go, and I know exactly how to hit bumps in the road and things like that. So I think about lifting it all the time. It's a fairly easy process, and it would give me 3 to 6 inches, I think, in height. I think it's like 3.5 or something like that. I don't know how tall it is, but I was just up on top of it, and it's tall when you get up there. It's like 10.5 feet, something like that. Do you plan ahead as where you want to spend your time, or just wing it? Both, actually both. Well, it's so much winging it. Sometimes I'll just be driving down a road. I'll be like, I'm going to head this direction. And minutes before, I'll look up on the app and I'll just pull over and camp somewhere. Sometimes I'll know, like, I'm going to leave this campsite, and by the end of the day, I'm going to be at that campsite. It's about freedom and yeah, being able to wing it and being prepared for things that come up, because you may have to stop and camp somewhere where you weren't expecting. Where's Echo? He's tied up. He's on the other side of the rig. You could probably, I think that might be him right there. Yeah. I think that's his butt right there. Echo hasn't been in the last couple videos. Well, he was in a video today. I put the GoPro camera on his back, and you'll see that. I hope the footage turned out good. Thanks for commenting and asking questions, Lysand. A lot of you folks, I recognize your names. Mark says he has cameras. I think he's talking about on his rig. Todd wants to know if I'm going to Quartzsite. Yeah, we should talk about Quartzsite in an upcoming video. Maybe I'll do a live stream about it. Quartzsite is a big deal, and as a YouTuber, you kind of realize like, oh, okay. When you make videos about certain places, that seems to be the thing. At least for my videos. I did a video about well, anyways, when you do videos about certain places, for me, those videos tend to get a lot of views. So when I do videos about Quartzsite, those are some of my most popular videos, and I like Quartzsite a lot, and it's fun learning about it and sharing the stuff I've learned and our adventures there. So I like to make a lot of videos there, and when I'm there, it's very comfortable. Get tons of power. You know, once you pay for the permit, you get free water, free dump, so it's very comfortable. And so I have a lot of time to make videos. I did a video about Slab City, and go on my channel and you'll see it's the most popular video on my channel. It got like over 250,000 views. That was before the channel was monetized, so I didn't get paid for any of that. Everybody always says, oh, you should go back there to make more videos. And I should sometime. All right, you guys, my voice is getting kind of hoarse, so I think I'm going to end this live stream. What I want to do is walk around a little bit and show you my campsite. The problem is that we may lose a signal. So that's why I like to do this at the end. So this is where we kind of test things, and you guys tell me if the signal craps out or not. I feel like if I stand on the edge of this mountain here, it's open, then it will have the best signal. You guys want to see my campsite? Going to Quartzsite from Pennsylvania. Man, I never go over to that side of the country. I'm always looking for basically mountains, desert, seclusion, away from cities and the hustle and bustle. And so when you say Pennsylvania, I just feel like, oh man, it must be crazy there. So when you go to Quartzsite, you're going to be in for a surprise, because Quartzsite is very quirky. They should call it Quartzsite. You want to see Echo? Let me go get something first. There he is. I got this to keep Mr. Echo from running off. I'm going to talk about this in some upcoming videos. And yes, it does have a shocker on here. He's wearing a thing on his neck. I haven't had to use it. I've had it on him for over a month now, and I keep this thing in my pocket. So, you know, basically if a deer comes up, that's when we're going to have an issue. And the thing I'm excited about this thing is it has a beeper, so I can hit this button and it'll beep, it'll make a noise. And then if I hit this button, it just vibrates. And I think that's going to be enough to keep him from chasing stuff. So when he chases, I'm going to beep him and then vibrate him. And I think he'll stop. I hit the beeper once. It just makes a little beeping noise on his neck. And that freaked him out. So I think if I couple that with the vibration, that'll freak him out enough. I don't want to have to use the shocker, but and you know, I wouldn't recommend the shocker really for people. I know people get this to like train your dog to do everything, train him, you know, to sit when you want, train him to not bark and stuff like that. I would never ever use this kind of thing for that kind of training. This is just it's an emergency thing, and because I can't have him chasing stuff, but at the same time, I do want him to be off leash. So you guys can put it down in the comments, and you can say I'm mean or whatever. Trust me, I'm not. You know, it's a weird thing, but the thing is, it vibrates, and it has different intensities for vibration on his neck. And even the shocker, like you know, it hurts for a second, but it's not a long-term thing. And I would never ever use it except in an emergency. That's it. That's the only reason I would use it. You're mean. You want to limit his freedom. If you guys know me, I mean, I'm a vegetarian. I don't you know, my dogs, any dogs I have, they're always adopted from the pound. I don't, you know, I'm always thinking about the animals. You know, the wild animals, but then my dogs, they come first. And so trust me, for me to get something like a shock collar for Mr. Echo, it was a lot of thinking that I had to do about it, like how I was going to use it. And I may never even shock him. Oh, Betty sent a super chat. Betty, thank you. Oh, you didn't even ask a question. Well, I can heart your comment anyway. Betty, thank you for the super chat. That's awesome. That's really nice. The super chats are cool because sometimes we get a lot of comments in here, and if you super chat, then it comes up as all highlighted, so I can make sure I won't miss your comment or question. I'm trying to move really slowly. There's a bug on the phone because I don't want to lose reception. Okay, there's Mr. Echo. He's laying by our charging station here, which is in the sun. And it is quiet here. There's a creek down there that runs all year long from the melting snow up high on the mountains. It runs all year long. So you can hear that. That's the only thing I can hear right now. This road that we're camped next to, hardly anybody ever comes on this road. Actually, well, the whole time I've been here, which has just been a couple hours now, no one has come up this road. And I don't suspect I'll see more than a few people here, except on the weekends. He's a good dog. You got like 4 collars on right now. This is because we were running around with the bike, and he's off the leash when I'm on the bike and he's running around with me. He follows me. He's so good. It's crazy how good he is. So when he's on the road running around, at least if a car comes by, he'll be easier to spot. The Dodger's over here. Let's take a look at this charging station. I'm pretty lucky as a YouTuber, like the shock collar that Echo has, that company sent it to me, because you know they want their products in my videos. And these guys sent me this, and this thing is awesome. I literally, the panel I don't use every day, But the battery pack in here, I use this thing every day. I use it every day in the trailer. The dogs are bumping my tripod right now. So as a Nomad, you know, if you're doing van life or whatever, you need something like this. This is a pretty small one. I kind of wish I had a bigger one. They'll probably send me a bigger one if I ask them. I should ask them. The thing about the small one is it's cool because it's super light. You can just carry it around wherever you want. Someone built something over here. I don't know what it is. It looks like they nailed it to the trees. But there are hunters out here, so maybe it has something to do with that. Can you take a couple of the collars off? He always looks choked. He's not choked. The one collar he has because it's really strong, but it doesn't have reflectivity on it. And that holds his tracker. But it doesn't have reflectivity, so I have another collar on him that has reflectivity. And that also has my phone number on it. Both collars have my phone number on it. So I figure I have basically two normal collars on him. So if one breaks, then he's got the other one as a backup kind of thing if he runs off, because he's known for running off. Then, oh, so now he has the shock collar. I think someone might be coming up this road. It's a helicopter. So now he has a shock collar on. And that should just be a temporary thing. I can use a vibrator to get him to stop chasing deer. And if I can train him to stop chasing deer altogether, he won't need to have that collar on. The reflective one, I'll take it off him right now, if that makes you feel better. Oh, I can't actually, because it's got my, well, yeah, see this one I can take off. It's just a Velcro thing, but it's covering up my my phone number on his collar right now, so I gotta leave it on there. Don't want any of you freaks calling me. All right, so this campsite, oh, check out how dusty my truck got. Because the last place I was camped, I was right on the road. And I had just washed my truck too. I washed the whole rig by hand. These campsites, you know, I can't get super deep into the woods. So they're kind of the more commonly used sites. They're a little trashy. Some of the sites, there's like toilet paper everywhere. So they can be a little gross. And you know, a lot of times I do pick up the trash. In some places it's so trashy you can't do that. There's Echo. Okay, kind of looks like it's cutting out on my end. I'm really trying to test if I can walk around. It looks like you guys are still here with me. I don't know why. Echo. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Hi, outdoor people. Chris James. Signal is good. Oh, TY man, I appreciate that. Okay, I'm going to try and do some more live streams probably from this location. It's a huge campsite. Yeah, it is. It is actually. Hey, Chris, am I too late? Echo. Here comes a vehicle. You can see them drive by. Nice and slow. Yeah, the thing is, here, I'm going to change the view here real quick. You kind of see the ridge back there. And if you get up a little bit higher in these mountains, like I pretty much have to get the truck to do that, you can see Mount Rainier. And it's like it's right there. Let me ask you guys, before I go, some questions about the channel. Because you guys, it's been cool hanging out with you here on the live stream. But my favorite thing to do is make videos and post them on YouTube. And so I'm curious, what do you guys like to see in our videos? Or what do you see in other channels that are sort of similar that you want to see in our videos? Is there something I'm missing or something you want to see more of? I think my channel is a good mix of, I say adventure videos, but it's not like we're like kite surfing or, rock climbing or zip lining or anything like that. I'm just mostly just hiking around, exploring nature with the dogs as far as the adventure aspect goes. And then it's a mix of that and fixing little things that come up, day-to-day nomad life. No cooking. I hardly ever show cooking. But I always just think about, I want to give people an idea of what this lifestyle, because I know it's so weird and bizarre to a lot of people. And, and I get that, like I totally get that. So I want to inform or educate or open people's minds to what it's like. And then they have that knowledge to sort of form a better, well-rounded opinion, and they may still think it's weird and freaky, but at least they'll understand, oh, well, he has, 50 gallons of water. When he runs out of water, he goes to a rest area to get water. Sometimes he pays $5 or $10 to get water at an RV park. Or does he shit in a bucket? Where does he shit? Oh, in his trailer. And these nomads, they dump their tanks every couple weeks. People don't know just simple stuff like that. Some people don't know that. And then when a person has that knowledge that they didn't have before, they can form their own opinions, and they might not decide to be a nomad or even like spend any time in an RV, but they may say, oh, I want to get my tent out from the closet and go set it up in the woods somewhere, or go out in the desert and camp and see what this guy is enjoying about this lifestyle, about nature. I want to take my dog out on a hike, kind of thing. Yeah, I watch some channels, like I watch Sarah Yak's channel. I talk about her channel sometimes. Her channel is not, she's building a van. She's always like, oh, this video is about cabinets. And it's like, oh, I don't really want to see you build cabinets. But that's what she's doing. So that's what she makes her video about. And so that's basically how I run my channel is this is what I'm doing right now. And so I want to show you, you know, 20 minutes of what I'm doing right now. Or in this case today, we're going an hour in of what I'm doing. And I talked about like why I moved to this site, how I felt about being in this site. I talked about some of the gear that I'm using in this moment. You watch somebody like Chrome on Van City Van Life. Some of his videos I watch, some of them I'm like, oh, he's in a town. He's like, look at this crazy town in Canada, and I'm not interested in that, so I'm not going to watch that. But whenever he's talking about upgrading or changing a piece of gear, or I guess that's what it is, just sort of like learning. If I can learn something new, then I'm really engaged. I'm a lot more engaged and interested as a viewer. So I think about that when I'm making a video. I'm just curious what you guys think. Yeah, Old Man in the Forest says, I watch your channel for just what you do, which that's good because that's that makes me feel good because that's what I'm trying to do on my channel. But he suggests I do a few cooking videos. I know people love to watch the cooking. I get it. I like when you find stuff out there on your hikes. When you found the old military barracks site. Terry says your day-to-day activities, getting supplies, cooking, hiking, scenery, and the dogs. Yeah. Just do what you've been doing. Yeah, I'm just curious. Like, I am going to keep doing what I'm doing as far as the YouTube thing goes because it works really well for me as far as living my life and then creating videos around it. And I love editing. I love creating the videos. The hard part is always the thumbnail and the title. That's always what I'm hung up on. Going digging for rocks and crystals. Yeah, I show a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things on my channel. It's never anything like big and crazy and exciting, and you're pretty much never going to see a city or a town or even like driving on the highway. You won't see that on my channel for the most part because I personally don't find that interesting. And that's probably why you don't see the cooking because I'm not super interested in the cooking. But I'd rather do cooking stuff than like, let me be your tour guide through this town. But we do a lot of things, it's mostly like hiking, but I'll find something or I'll see something or something will happen. I'll get a flat tire or the dog will run off. Um, or I'll go, yeah, I'll go looking for rocks, or I'll have a mission, finding supplies. Yeah, Patrick says sometimes at night likes to watch non-tech videos just to relax. I think about that too. Um, the Got Out channel is also about giving people a moment to sort of separate from their day-to-day lives. So sometimes I do a video and it's just me and the dogs hiking, or just me hiking, and I'll show you what I see and what I'm thinking about. So it's a way for you to sort of, some people might think it's boring, and that's fine, but I'm not bored while I'm doing it. So I figure if I record this and then turn this into a video, someone else will watch it and they won't be bored either. Hopefully they'll, be relaxed or inspired. Do you do driving to the next campsite videos? Not really. I don't like to roll tape when I'm on, regular, like paved roads. On dirt roads, I will record a little bit because there's nobody else on the roads and I'm going slow. But I just feel like, yeah, I want to be safe. That's my first and foremost thing, is be safe. I don't want to get hurt. And I definitely don't want to get hurt because I'm shooting a YouTube video. I'd feel like such a freaking idiot. And I see people recording while they drive, and I'm just like, oh, I'm just cringing. Like, oh, you don't need to do that. Sometimes, you know, you can get away with it. It's okay, but you're going to get in a wreck, and then you're going to have it on tape, and you're going to have to turn that into a video, and you're going to look like an idiot, and you're going to feel like an idiot. So I don't, I don't like to record when I'm driving on the roads. Another reason is I don't like to watch that stuff. I'm always fast forwarding. I always talk about the Campulence Man. Campulence Man has a great channel, and I'm super inspired by his channel. But he does these long segments of just driving with music, like jazz music, and he's just driving on roads. And I'm like, I can see these roads anywhere. Anybody can see these roads. And some people do like to watch it, but I don't. I fast forward through that part. All right, you guys, thanks for hitting the thumbs up button here. We only have 30 thumbs up, and there's like 60 people in the chat. Do I like to fish? No, I don't fish. I don't hunt. I don't fish. I do eat some seafood, like fish, but I don't fish. I'm not a dog person. I just hang out with my dogs, basically. Bloopers. If you go to our Patreon page, I do put some, like, you know, bloopers up on our Patreon page. Yeah, you guys check out our Patreon page. It's $5 a month, and helps out the channel. But it's funny, like, I record a fair amount of footage, but I don't have a lot of, like, bloopers. The most is, like, I'll say something stupid, or I'll stumble over my words or something, but that's not that funny. I don't have any kids, just my dogs. RV or TV for the driving videos. Nice looking campsite. Thanks, Digger Doc. The weird thing is, there's nobody here. You saw one car drive by in this whole hour that we've been doing the live stream. But when I disconnect with you guys here, it's going to be silent because I'm going to shut up. I'm not going to be talking to myself. I'll talk to the dogs, but it's going to be dead quiet. And I'm going to feel, it's like it's the one time that I do feel kind of lonely, is when I do these live streams and I feel like I'm chatting with you guys. We're kind of going back and forth. And then when I turn it off, when I hit the off button, then I'm like, oh, I'm out here by myself. There's nobody watching me. There's nobody that I'm chatting with right now. Other than that, though, I do not feel lonely. Check out Tombstone sometime. I've been to Tombstone before. I've never gone camping there. Thanks for the thumbs up, Terry. All right, I'll see you guys somewhere down the road. Maybe that should be my outro in my videos. I'm in the Cascade Mountains. I stole my outro, which I use a lot in my videos on the channel, from RV Living. No, Cheap RV Living. Bob. Why can't I remember his name? But I watch his channel, and at the end of all his videos, he says, "See you in the next video." That's what I say. I stole that from him. It would be good to have like a catchphrase. You put that on a t-shirt. What t-shirt do you think would more people buy a channel to help support the channel if I had t-shirts made of Echo or Dodger? Not both, Echo and Dodger, but just Echo. There's an Echo shirt and there's a Dodger t-shirt. What would sell better? I think that would be actually a tough competition because people like Echo because he's like super active and super dopey. He's in a lot of the videos. But people love Dodger because he's like a great inspiration. He's so old and he's still doing his thing. He still goes on little hikes and he's a nomad. So he's inspirational. It's like, oh, I wish my dog could be like Dodger. I wish I could be like Dodger. Like live that old and still be camping, still be hiking. So I feel like, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like it would be even. I'd sell just as many Dodger t-shirts for the channel as I would Echo t-shirts. Maybe that's a good thing too, because then they would have to buy 2 t-shirts, and then I'd probably make $3 from each t-shirt, so I'd get $6 rather than just $3 because they'd have to buy 2 shirts. You want to see my trailer on a t-shirt? Someone said that. Echo hears something walking around, but I think it's just Dodger. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Go watch some videos on our channel and put in the comments why you like the video. I'm always curious about that. What made you watch? Why are you still watching it? And what did you not like about the video? I have fun making the videos. I like putting music to it. I like making it interesting and, you know, exciting as it could be, you know. I like making them feel simple. And I always like when I feel like I can present something that will inspire people, but also inform people and educate people in some way, some little way. It's a weird thing having a YouTube channel. It is actually super weird. I don't think about it that much because I'm just like fully in it. I'm like, make videos, record this, edit this, upload this. But then when I sit down and think about it, it's like, I am not your typical YouTuber. I guess a lot of YouTubers aren't your typical YouTuber. It's a weird thing. But I love it. I actually really do. I enjoy it. I think I like YouTube because I can make it however I want it to be. I can create whatever I want, but then also I can engage with all of you guys in whatever way I want, whenever I want. So I still feel like I have all the freedom that I've always wanted. You guys, if you guys aren't out here, you're missing out. I'll just say that. You're missing out. And if you can't get out, then I'm glad that you can watch videos on YouTube to sort of remind you of what's out there, because you can get a lot from just watching other people's nature videos. There's this one guy, Econo Challenge, and I don't watch many of his videos, but you know, some people just have a cool way about them, and he has a super small channel. I think he got like a few hundred videos views on his last video. I didn't even watch it, but Bob Wells, yeah. But you watch certain people and the way they present the outdoors. There's another guy, Bob 808 Knight, I think is his name. Kenneth Cram. Oh, there's this guy, Mark Young. I don't think he makes videos anymore, but those are some small channels, but you watch their stuff and you get a vibe from it that you cannot get anywhere else. And if you can't get out yourself to do, to live like we're doing, for whatever reason you can't, then you can watch people on YouTube doing those things, and they will present the outdoors to you in such a way that is almost as good as being there. You can watch documentaries or like nature shows and stuff like that. But some people just have a way of presenting the outdoors that feels so authentic and like comfortable. Like just really comfortable. And I guess me and the dogs, I try to do that. I try to do that. All right, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Thanks for all your questions. It's been a lot of fun.